broken wasteland. Come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson and I am your host. Holy hell, this is the third time I've tried doing this monologue today before stopping. So it is Friday of the big goddamn metal show, and we have Vlad's blood orange sauce here. We're putting it on the eggs in the morning. We're putting it on the lunch, and today is the first day of the big goddamn metal show at the Mag Bar. So come see us tonight. We have 5 awesome bands. Where there were going to be 6, but one had to pull out for issues, and due to logistics, we had to keep it at 5. So we've got Midnight Hellion, Idle Throne, Windrider, and Treason tonight at the Mag Bar. So fucking awesome. Super rad bands. Idle Throne from Northern Indiana, Windrider from Johnson City, Tennessee, Treason from Glasgow, Kentucky, Midnight Hellion from New Jersey, and Ulm headlining tonight. Holy shit. Super rad times. I am so excited for it. And then obviously tomorrow we've got night 2 of the big goddamn metal show with such a fucking stacked lineup. You know, we've got Rat King, Lavaborn, Free Warren, Joe Grudge, Ice Howl, and Sanhedrin. Holy shit. Super awesome bands. And I'm enjoying this. I love putting on this show at Mag Bar. This year it's all ages. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming out in advance and doing the thing and all the stuff and all the things. Goddamn right? So today's guest is from the big goddamn metal show, and it is Free Warren. And Free Warren is kind of more into the alt rock genre, kind of like a grunge meets there's a little bit of Seether in there. There's a you'll dig it. It's kind of got a little bit of a new wave of traditional heavy metal meets American metal. You know, there's definitely some GNR feel to it. You know, so cool stuff. We're debuting a new song today, which is awesome. And obviously, they actually have some pretty cool videos out. And one of these songs that we're going to debut today is the brand new video. So this first video that we're going to play for the song Warm Bones completely blew me away, because you don't see many independent bands with a production like this. And it's awesome. And I think more independent bands need to do this. You know, spend the money, do the thing. Don't fucking go AI like other fucking bands out there and shit like that. So anyway, we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna slam fucking forward. Shout outs to Jason and All Hell and everybody out in the North Carolina area in the new heavy metal wasteland, because they're still getting shit together, and that's why he's not here this week. We love him. Jason, everybody down there, thank you so fucking much. Be safe. We're with you. Asheville and, you know, Storm Strong. Fuck Helene. Let's go play some fucking Free Warren now. This is Warm Bones. Yeah.
keep my fears to myself, away from you.
All right, metalheads, we are being joined this week by the dudes, and let's just go ahead and say that these last few weeks have been leading up to today, which is the start of the big goddamn metal show. Hell yeah. At
Fuck
Mag
yeah.
Bar tonight and tomorrow. We've got the dudes in Free Warren here making their return to the stage at the big goddamn metal show. Dudes, what's going on?
What's happening?
What's
Going
happening?
on?
It's
Good to
good.
see you.
Hell yeah, dudes. So let's go through and introduce, because as we can see, Marilyn Monroe behind and a couple of stickered up acoustic guitars, which I think is always rad as hell.
Yeah.
So who are we talking to tonight?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm Brad. I'm the vocalist.
I'm Braden. I'm the bass player.
I'm Garrett. I'm the drummer.
I'm Tristan, the guitars.
I was really beginning to wonder if there was another V name coming in. So, I mean, because it's like B, and then here's Garrett. And dudes, like first off, how the fuck are you?
Really
good.
Awesome, dude.
Really busy.
Yeah, busy is
Yeah.
gonna be all the
Things
time.
are looking up though.
Right. Yeah, I think I had a boss one time, and I don't know if you've listened to any previous episodes of the show or not, but the thing about it is this is more or less like a conversation based podcast, okay?
Hell yeah.
What I call it's a conversation based interview show.
Absolutely.
And basically, I had a boss. So this is the genesis of this story here. And when I hired in, he told me that it was just like, we tend to slow down around October. And this was like in February. He's like, we're gonna get really busy in the summer, but we'll slow down about October. And that was in 2007. And I don't think I've ever slowed down since.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's
So-
great.
Our lives. Yeah.
That's the thing that's out there these days. What's insane. So, um, big goddamn metal show. Fucking Free Warren coming back to the stage for the first time in what 4
Right.
years?
Oh yeah,
Has it
yeah.
been that
It's
long?
been a while.
4 years. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a bit of time. Like,
Yeah.
so tell everybody out in Metal Forge Land about Free Warren and why this is the return show.
We started in 2019 when I met these two in high school, and I met Braden first.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and we started getting together and just playing random tunes, little acoustic stuff, cover tunes, and then all of a sudden it just became super serious.
Yeah. We were like, let's
And,
do original shit.
but it was a lot of fun, and we realized how good we do with each other, and we've just like spent so much time writing all the music that we can. And we had some shows in 2020 that kind of got us out there a little bit and bred us into that this is what it's going to be, and we're all still really hungry for it. But we've spent the last 4 years since then
Doing our homework.
doing lots of homework, writing more stuff, recording stuff, getting our head screwed on straight, basically getting all of our ducks in a row. So this return show is a really big moment for us.
Absolutely, which based on the first single release, that it's something to me, like when you can come out and then just the world changed. Right at the beginning of you all, right at the beginning of the band. And when it comes to being able to get together finally and say, you know what, this is proper return show. how does that really affect you? Because obviously we're metalheads, we're creature of habit. We we get that chip on our shoulder if something doesn't go right, and we're just like, I gotta do better. I've gotta
Yeah.
fucking do this better. So whenever, whatever had happened before, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe, Garrett, you had told me before that the show was the shows that you all had played towards the beginning of the career were not really things that you had been necessarily too proud of, that this was kind of like a real proper, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
debut
Yes.
show.
I would still say that's true. We did 3 shows as a very new, fresh band back then. That was back in 2020, and those 3 shows, we were very happy to do them, and we played them with pride for sure.
We were just so fresh with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, we
Like,
were
we
very
had-
new to it.
We had only practiced together like a few times,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
then we went out
yeah.
and started playing these shows. So
Yeah, and they were
That's
really-
always the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
And
like-
you're flying off the seat of your pants, and you know,
Yeah.
when you don't really know the songs like you probably should, isn't that
Yeah,
isn't that
yeah,
like
exactly.
let's just go. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
but
Just
it
wing it.
It taught us a lot about that kind of side of the coin, and a lot about each other too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we went
sure.
home, we went back and said, man, we gotta work on some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, not necessarily being like anything like thrash or death metal or hardcore, anything like that, but what I would consider Free Warren would be something in the vein of like the new wave of traditional heavy metal meets new wave of American heavy metal.
Definitely got the American metal in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah. So with having such a diverse sound with metal having so many diverse sounds, I should say, how
Yeah.
do you focus on, keeping tried and true to what you want to do as a band? Because it's easy to like pick from here and pick from here and pick from there. But when that amalgamation happens, how does that happen with Free Warren?
Well, we try to write and for ourselves, write and play for ourselves, and
Yeah.
like we don't think about what somebody wants to hear. It's just what we come up with and what sounds good to us. And a lot of stuff is actually written on acoustics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then it's brought to the
It gets amped up
table.
like tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it changes once you start amping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the secret formula really is that I'm more the metal guy of the band, and then
Sure.
we've got like the '60s guy and the
Punk guy.
'90s guy, the punk guy. Like, there's actually, I mean, only on certain songs could you really consider us a metal,
Yeah.
outfit. Whereas more,
Well,
it's
true.
It's
But
like,
I think anything with heavy, even like lyrical content is metal to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
really hard rock.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, like I always think and I always sit there and say, I don't care if who it is. It could be Hank Williams Sr. You take like the Lost Highway song of his. Dude, that's metal as fuck.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right,
I love
man.
that.
It's
dude.
all about the perception of
For sure.
like heavy. What I say the Metal Forge is about heavy culture more than anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whether, because we all live hardcore lives, and whether, it's all metal or not, it's, we brush up against it enough in the day that it's still a part of everybody's life. So with that, when you all are writing and things come out to say, if things were written mostly on acoustic, which I love completely, because I'm that person too. I'll pick up the acoustic before I'll pick up an electric. And
yeah.
if it flows well from the flat top, then I know So is that
Yeah.
how you all are as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, we got Mr. I mean, he's the big singer songwriter, the vocalist, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll like he just always lays like a really good foundation of stuff, and then it's like if you know a song, if you can just pick up uh, acoustic is about as real as you can get, like when it comes to guitar or almost any instrument.
Very
'Cause
pure.
it's just it's straight wood and strings and sound. So I just think
Mhm.
if you know you
Yeah.
can have a good sounding song on just that block of wood,
You know it'll
you
sound
know it'll
great.
sound good. You can make it something epic on like a big band setting. So I think that's like one of
Oh,
the
for
biggest
sure.
things.
Oh,
You know.
no, I totally agree with that. And, I've always told people that, especially in like the metal deal, because there's so many bands out there that are just like, oh, acoustic, no, fuck that. And
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed like the Unplugged series,
Oh,
and
yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
storytellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sure.
like, I totally love the idea of taking like a metal setting and making like a storyteller's thing out of it. And that was the original genesis of the Metal Forge, believe it or not, was
Wow.
to have people do like unplugged sets and stuff, which I thought would be kind of cool. Too bad like nobody really thought so.
Yeah.
We made it about a month and we were just like, yeah, maybe we should start having people play electric.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to like the acoustic thing.
Well, hey man, if you ever want to
But
bring it back,
We'll bring it back.
We'll bring it back for it.
We'll bring
Yes.
it
We have no beef with that.
We'll do both.
do
an
anything.
evening with Free Warren unplugged storyteller.
Yes, dude.
We're
Yeah.
all you're all gonna play acoustic, even the bass, and then
Yes,
it's gonna
sir.
be rad as
Yep.
hell. You're gonna sit on stools. It's gonna be like the Eagles,
Yeah.
like hell freezes
Yeah.
over.
The Eagles,
Yeah.
yes, dude.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And
yes,
I-
yes.
And I do have an acoustic bass.
Yeah.
And I
Hey, I've got
Already.
one too, actually.
Oh hell
Uh,
yeah.
Killer.
So obviously, with writing and things coming up on acoustic and so on and so forth, but when it comes to actually sitting down and writing songs, um, like because I know Garrett plays guitar as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So and actually, I think Garrett's an amazing guitar player, as I should
is.
say.
Oh,
But
Oh yeah.
He's a
what I
fantastic
also want to
guitar
know
player.
is, so when you're sitting there and you're coming up with doing, when you're writing, do you all sit down and pick up the guitar and play together, or is it like, hey, this would be a cool drum beat, or do you leave the writing to them?
It's all of that.
It's-
It depends.
Sometimes I write I'll write poems and turn them into songs, and I write the words first, and sometimes I'll write I'll figure out some good acoustic chords first and do the music first. And with the band, yeah, kind of whoever's just messing around and comes up with something, they'll bring it to the band, and then Garrett will just do what he does.
Super sporadic. Like we all play guitar, actually, all of us do. So most of our stuff is written from the guitar first, no matter like
Definitely, yeah.
definitely most of it is written from the guitar first, because Braden, he plays the bass, but he actually writes on the guitar.
Same.
And then
I get
he'll-
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the riff master over here. Him and Garrett are the riff masters. So like Braden will come up with a riff and then just he takes it right to Garrett. But it's funny because Braden will like write the whole song out and then he's already got the bass part. So then all of a sudden I'll like show up to practice and they're like jamming this rhythm section. And I'm like, what is that, dude? Like, where did that come?
That's how that happens a lot of the time. A lot of the time it's like almost it's not fleshed out, but the skeleton of the song is brought in by whoever wrote that
Right,
singularly. And then we'll all
Sure.
four get together and we'll say, what transitions are we doing? What fills are we doing? Because we all match each other. That's where we
Yeah.
all sync up. So
Yeah, it's just kind of sporadic. Like me, I've always got the solo to the song done before I have like half the chords put together.
yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like
Yeah.
I always got like the main guitar solo, and then I'm like, oh, I got this little riff for chord progression, and then I'll I'll take it to him for like lyrics, or I'll take it to him for the beat, and just to kind
We
of
got a lot of solos going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Now, Warm Bones don't as much, but all of our other songs
All his new
do.
stuff.
Just wait.
Okay, so I
Just
do have to
wait.
ask about something here with being with all of you being guitar players. Obviously, I don't know personally, but I assume you're all similar on your abilities because you're all playing together. Nobody is like just way outshines each other. But when it comes to like writing solos, I had this thing with a guitar player one time who absolutely hated soloing over a verse riff or a chorus riff. It had to be a completely new riff under a
Oh,
solo.
no.
What in the
Have you all ever been
No.
like that?
No.
No.
We're
It's
the
like,
opposite.
yeah, but we could totally change the key here and do the solo
Yeah.
well,
like this and just like do and completely work the song over a different way. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
I never thought
that
of that.
is cool stuff.
Yeah.
We're actually dabbling into that a little bit with a couple of these new
Yeah.
songs. We got couple new songs we've been working on. I have like this heavy riff that we've been working on lately, and me and Garrett are like, oh, we should speed up the tempo right here, and then
And
like
key change.
maybe do a key change.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we're starting to dabble, but like honestly, most of the songs that we have completed, we just like we totally just take the verse and the chorus. I don't know, it just works.
man.
I don't know.
Like Accept or
Yeah.
King Diamond, all of them, like it
Yeah.
sounds so good when they do it.
Pre-chorus,
Sure.
chorus, verse,
Yeah.
pre-chorus, chorus.
I might throw an extra
Bridge.
rhythm on it that's a little different. Like we
Yeah.
have I know a song like where it's like the same chords, but I changed the percussive
A lot of the
aspect
times
and
it's
the
just a different
rhythm.
different play style.
Yeah.
Just change, kind of alter the new take, different play style.
Go
Change
crazy.
Yeah.
change the rhythm pattern, or
A lot of rhythm pattern change.
I'll
if-
change
if
I'll change the
anything.
bass line behind it or something. I'll change the bass.
So
That's
And-
wild. I can't
or use a different drum beat, things like
a
that.
lot of our songs are just like 2 to 5 chords at most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bones are
Hey,
simple.
I mean, but that there's something about that though, that it doesn't have to be all crazy prog either. It doesn't have to be, crazy time signatures and crazy chord progressions.
Yeah.
And, when you're getting the, that
Yeah.
little tap over the neck thing, you don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
Whipping some polyphia out over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, and
They're
those
amazing.
people have their place.
Yeah,
Don't get
exactly.
me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Absolutely.
They
I
have their
love
place.
bands like that.
And yeah, like I love watching bands like that because it's like, wow, man. It's
I
like
know.
I'll never be able to play that.
Me
like-
too.
I'm impressed by people who can.
Me too.
And-
I love watching them, but it's just never something that like
Yeah,
I
it's
just-
never in my reality to be.
it's
able to
not
be
in my
that guy.
it's not in my
Yeah.
roots either. Like, this Brad's my dad, and then Braden's my brother, so we're family, and then Garrett's our adopted brother.
Yeah.
It's a big family band.
But
Yeah, there's a curveball for you.
so but
Sure,
we just
sure.
Dad grew up in the 90s, man, so it's all just like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Pearl Jam, now
Pantera.
the grunge stuff, and it's just like that very like I like what you said about like how metal is more of a culture, because like there's obviously bands that are heavier than other bands, but still can
Sure.
can still shed some of that same attitude. Like I don't think like Alice in
Yeah.
Chains is a grunge band, but they're just as metal sometimes as like Pantera.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
Oh
like
no,
just heavy.
absolutely.
there's something about like like you said, the lyrical
Yeah, for
content,
sure.
this singing from a feeling and emotion
And heavy
like-
shit.
and then they do
Yeah.
write like heavy riffs, and then but even some of their really soft
Oh yeah,
stuff
Nutshell's the heaviest
yeah,
shit I ever.
dude, like Nutshell's some
Yeah.
of the darkest
Yeah.
like feeling
Down in a
thing.
hole.
Dude,
Dude,
yeah,
man,
it's
that
like,
shit
it just
is
can like
metal.
Especially when you get the unplugged version, where it's like
Yes.
longer and it has like the weird, like the cool, like rapping guitar parts with it.
yes, yeah.
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 I just
Tap
think you made
out.
yeah, I just think you made a great point. Like metal really is like it's a it's a
a way of
feeling.
life.
It's an emotion.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's a way
It's
of
big.
life.
it's not just a
Absolutely.
sound. I
Yeah.
mean, there is a sound to it, but it's just
It's
like
not just a genre. It's
Nirvana.
bigger than that.
Nirvana had some of like the most catchy poppy songs on the radio back in the 90s, but they're metal too because they just jam. Like it just rocks.
It's the
and
feeling, it's the
emotion,
attitude,
the attitude,
and
That's what it's all about.
you know.
You
It
know,
just
you
depends.
mentioned that and the Nirvana thing, and what was wild about them is like when there was a book that I had. It was like the complete studio recordings catalog of Nirvana,
Yeah.
and what it did is it went through every version of a release that they had.
Oh,
Whether
wow,
or
that's
not,
cool.
so say like the original run of like Bleach on the independent deal, and then they
Yeah.
had the re-release version, and you had the special edition versions and the vinyl versions and the CDs, and this print of this version, etc. And they would go in and talk about like they would have like the notes from like Kurt's journals and stuff, and he was super meticulous. Like when it came to recording, he knew exactly the cost of everything that he was doing.
Wow.
So he knew, like they knew that they weren't like frivolously spending money on
Wow.
or getting screwed. Like
Yeah.
he knew like everything. He had it mapped out, which is wild as hell that other people do that too. Like it's like, all right, I know this it's going to be 36 minutes ish. This is the idea that I have.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
The budgeter and the business
That
man
definitely
about
is. Yeah, that's
everything.
Yep, I totally get it.
I'm always the man
So-
with the plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to have somebody in the band to be that guy, because you know everybody has their designated role. You're all managers right now
Yeah.
until until management comes along. They say you're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
supposed to spend your time at the merch table, spend your time
Yep.
out talking to the people and hanging out
Exactly.
and doing the thing and all the stuff. So as now we're here for the weekend of the re-debut at the Big Goddamn Metal Show. Now that the weekend's over, what are you all interested in doing going into 2025?
We got more stuff coming along. We can't give too much away about it, but we're going way bigger.
It's gonna get big.
It's just we're just gonna keep pushing, man.
We're gonna keep trying to top ourselves.
Yeah, that's our goal, is to just keep topping ourselves, honestly, and playing live a lot. We're really excited for the show.
Hell yeah.
And starting to play
Absolutely.
live more and just touring and just like you said, talking to fans and just
So we're looking at the album. We're looking at possibly doing some touring.
yeah,
Yeah. You
could say that,
pretty
yeah.
much, yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to,
Music's
I
gonna
could
continuously
say that. I could say that, but could you? No. No, totally. I dig, and because of contractual obligations, and by the times this is released, might not be able to confirm yet or deny anything. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You never know what could
Definitely.
happen, but
Yeah.
That's G14 classified. No, I'm
that's
just
exactly
kidding.
right. We're
No, I'm
not
just kidding.
talking about anything here.
big plans though. We're very excited for what's to come next. and
Where's the hang on? Survey says big news coming soon. On the Facebook page.
yeah, exactly.
There's-
We're
That's
really
right.
excited to just bring people the next best thing all the
you
time.
can be sure to hear new music from us every couple months, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's-
And that's awesome, because we live in a time where I don't necessarily know if the album game is something that is going to continue. I saw a post here a while back from Cody and Hatriot, and Cody Souza, and he had said something about go out and experience these bands today, because we're going to have what's going to be called the great fall off. in metal and just music in general. And I think it's going to be the great fall off of everything, because we're going to start having these stars that have been, you know, in the spotlight the last 50, 60 years dying off, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Clint Eastwoods and
Yeah.
in the film scenes,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Sam Elliott's and stuff like that. And in the music scenes, you're going to start these people like Kiss and Metallica and
Robert Plant.
They're all getting
Yeah.
old.
Robert Plant. Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy Page, these guys that
Yeah,
are just
man.
going to start going, you know, they're going to start dying off. And
Yeah.
it's sad to think that,
It
you know,
is.
we live in a world, like I said, without Lemmy even.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And,
It's just
you
tough.
know, because everybody thought that he would be the last thing on earth.
Seriously, yeah.
He almost
but-
was.
But you know, and it's a thing that I do think is going to happen. You know, you're going to get all these people who are either going to retire or pass, and it's just going to be who's going to come up next. Who's this
Yeah.
next crop of either heavy musician or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
And that is where I see bands like Free Warren and Sanhedrin and
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
Howl and
Yeah.
Haunt and bands like that that are going to be the next, you know, Judas Priests and
Absolutely.
people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
sure hope
We
so.
work our
'Cause-
butts off.
Yeah.
And it is crazy that you bring that up. Like, look at Aerosmith. They just retired from the stage like a month ago, or like not
Yeah,
even a month
and
ago.
it was
It's
all
crazy.
because of a vocal issue.
Yeah.
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 And it's
You
just
know,
they're just
I
a
don't think the
band.
Stones are going to be around
I
much
think of the
longer.
Stones.
Yeah. How are they still alive?
They're just getting going for
Well,
crazy.
look how many that are already gone. The Doors.
I know,
I mean,
but
Yeah, they hadn't played a show since 1971.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's
Yeah.
no shit. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they
Uh,
did do that. They did do that storytellers thing.
Yeah.
I will say that they did do that storytellers thing where they had Scott Weiland, Travis
oh
Lee,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
uh,
Think of
I
Scott
think Scott
Weiland's
Stapp
though,
was
too.
on one of
Oh
them.
yeah. It's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did do that thing where they had different vocalists come in and they did
Yeah.
weird versions of Doors songs. I do
Yeah.
remember that. So
yeah.
maybe they haven't played a show in 25 years.
Yeah.
Instead of 50.
Yeah.
I do hope, like you're saying,
Yeah.
I hope people start giving I mean, I think it's happening a little bit because I think people are realizing like all these great legends that we all grew up with and were influenced by. Like time, just the clock keeps ticking, and you know, a lot of them are just have either moved on with their lives and don't really perform anymore, or they're retiring, or they just can't do it anymore,
Sure.
or they're passing. So
I mean,
I always-
Ozzy even.
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm always
Yeah.
saying, like, I hope people start. That's why lately I've been trying to like find the new bands that are
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out and just
Especially
like, listen.
in our genre, in
Yeah.
rock and metal. I mean, it takes so much, energy that, and just like really, like you have to try to keep up, so age can really take a toll if it gets too much, and people get health conditions, and it's a tough genre. It's very demanding,
Sure.
Yeah.
to perform and stuff. Even for a young guy like me. But I shouldn't complain too much.
No,
all day.
you're absolutely right. It is a tough gig. When you can't, you realize that it is the thing that you do have to maintain, and being up all night smoking and drinking and,
Yeah.
and doing all this, and then you got to get up at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
to get on the road to the next gig. Yeah, you can't,
Yeah.
you realize that you can't be doing all that you have to work it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah. So before we go today, obviously, we've got more stuff to cover here, because we've got Derailed, which
Oh,
we're going
yeah.
to switch over to. Derailed is 5 random questions about you all as people. And this will be fun because I haven't done a good group Derailed for a while.
Okay.
I'm
We
excited.
try our best.
Heck
Do
yeah.
it.
What do you geek out about?
Superheroes.
Yes.
Oh,
Marvel
who-
and DC.
nice. All right, so give me your favorite Marvel.
Oh man.
Oh,
That's
we're gonna
tough.
do. Oh, I think I just started something here. Let me get He's like, well, how does
Thor,
one
dude.
base? How does
Yeah.
one base their favorite superhero?
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it based on physical prowess? Is it
Yes.
based on
That's a great question.
Oof, that is a. I'd have to say for me, my favorite Marvel character would have to either growing up, it was always Spider-Man and Wolverine for sure.
Sure.
For me, it was just those two were like the
Dude,
OPs
I
to
grew
me.
up with the Clone Saga, so
Oh, that's good too.
yeah. So
Dude, I geek out on some Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
For
I
real.
geek on
That's
I mean, I got the old arcade system, part
that.
one.
That's
hell
a big one.
yes.
Yeah.
In my garage. and
Yeah.
I geek on that thing like 3 times a week.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yes.
I got it for a gift like 2 years ago, and it's 3 times a week. I got to play it because it takes me
Dude.
back to when I was like 13.
And you're
Yeah.
playing jamming the quarters in the arcade machine.
Yeah,
You're totally
yeah.
totally there. So this is kind of a cool episode for me because I feel like I am the bridge of the two generations here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm in I'm
yeah.
in my early 40s right now.
Yeah.
And I know Garrett, you're in your what, early 20s?
All three of us, actually.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
three of you are in your
us,
early
yeah.
20s.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
45.
Yeah, so we're closer in the same
Yeah,
to the same
yeah.
age then. Okay, so yeah, I totally get the
September
Mortal Kombat. I'd
14th,
love to have that cabinet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just had a birthday,
He just
September
turned
14th.
45.
Yeah, you just turned
Oh,
45.
45 's the
happy
new
belated.
25.
I'm still alive. So
Yes.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
No, yeah,
Uh,
we're super geeks, man.
Yeah.
It's besides music. I mean, music's the first love always, but movies and video games,
Evil Dead
and
2.
comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just super.
see, I show
Yeah.
these guys
We're
Evil
super
Dead
geeks,
2.
dude.
They live.
We love
all
cinema.
the good
Grew up watching
films.
a lot of business.
That's such
yeah, man.
Yeah,
We love
dude.
it all, man.
that's such a great question because I'm such a
We're such
geek-
fans.
we're such
We're
geeks.
nerds.
I'm a geek about
Everything.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm a geek when it comes. I love all art. I like movies, video games, and music. And-
Transformers, Super Mario,
yeah.
Yeah,
Beavis and Butthead.
God of War. I've been
The
geeking
Ninja
on God of
Turtles.
War. Ninja
And
Turtles.
the Ninja Turtles rule, man.
Oh, yeah.
We could just go for
Dude,
days.
I'm a
dude.
Masters of the Universe fan, so
Oh,
yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
I
dude.
love that.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
So here's something with that, and with the geek out, the great geek out of life and everything, and as you
Yeah.
as was just said, that being a fan of everything, of all art, when was a specific turning point in your life?
For me, I was about 12 years old. I always loved music growing up because all my parents would play in the car, literally, and I'm not joking, Iron Maiden and Dream Theater and like Cypress Hill and the Police, like all these oddball
Dirty.
So I didn't grow up listening to the radio, but I had this deep love of this music. But as I was a kid and a preteen and a teen, I was really into video games. And back in that day, that was like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
I wanted to play video games and make a
Yeah,
living
dude.
off of it. And one day my dad, actually, I guess I can credit him for sparking that love of me like going to play music and write my own music instead of just
Same.
enjoying listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I found some of his CDs one day, and he came in the room and he's like, "Oh, you're looking at these CDs," and he fishes out 2 specific CDs. And Mark, you'll know these. He fished out Necroticism by Carcass
Mm-hmm.
and Harmony Corruption by Napalm Death. And he said, whatever you go listen to next, listen to these. And those albums, I know it sounds so trivial, but those albums changed my life
Oh,
forever. And that is the reason I was like, video games are nothing to me.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I know your dad, and I could totally see that.
Yeah, man.
Craig's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny because he'll give you those two albums, and then he'll be sitting by his drums drinking Guinness, listening to like Rush or something.
Yeah, the Eagles. He'll be listening to like the Eagles. And
That's
I'm
what he
like,
does,
dude, the
man.
Highwayman.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
so
the Highwayman.
funny, dude.
That's
I
what
love
he does.
Craig.
Yeah.
Dude, he's hilarious. He's like, here, go listen to this death metal, but then I'm gonna chill back and listen to like
listen
Hotel
to
Leonard Skinner.
California.
Listen to the Lone Wolf McQuaid soundtrack.
He's so funny. Oh, he's awesome.
So what about the rest of
Culture.
you all? When was a specific turning point in your life?
I think for me, it was probably when I was like 15, I started singing and playing more. Like I got a bass guitar when I was like 15, and it didn't work out too much. I went more towards the acoustic, but I grew up on movies and art and music since I was a little kid. So my father had like jam sessions all the time. And I think the turning point was in my teen years. And that was the 90s. And that's when my father was like country musician.
Yeah, Grandpa was a bluegrass player.
And I was like, in the 90s, it was the grunge scene.
Yeah.
But of course, I always loved the old bands like Zeppelin and
The Doors,
Danzig.
Sabbath.
Yeah, Sabbath.
Yeah.
Creedence Clearwater. You gotta love them. They were big.
Yeah.
They're a big
Revival
influence.
or revisited? Oh,
Yeah, dude, that's
Only
good.
revival. Only revival.
Big
He
influence.
said only
Only revival.
Yeah, so mine obviously just kind of stems off of Dad's. I actually as a kid, I mean,
You wanted to be a basketball
yeah,
player.
I'm kind of the
That's
black.
true.
I'm kind of the black sheep in the music world. I would I didn't start with the roots as hard like when I was super young. I mean, I was super into like comic books and video games and stuff. I was a big video game guy, and then Dad would show me rock, but I also spent a lot of time with my mom too, and she would just listen to the radio. So I kind of had the pop aspect too a little bit. Braden took more of the liking to the rock at first, and then I kind of got into sports for a little while.
He
but
was a young bebopper.
yeah.
What were you like, 14?
I was kind of like super young. I was kind of like your typical preppy like radio listener, like
He said, "Dad, should I try it for basketball?" And I said,
Well, you're not that tall.
So-
"Dad, you're not that tall.
Then-
I haven't been showing you how to play." And
so
you play guitar pretty well. What do you really love?
You wanna
Following
be
your
a good-
heart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Now
so-
he's a killer lead guitar.
So before that, it was about 13 going on 14. Grandpa played music, Dad and all the uncles play music. The whole family's playing music. I kind of tried to steer away from it for a while, I think, because the whole family did it, and I think I was trying to find something different that I was good at. It's just funny because it's inevitable, it's just things work out inevitably, and then I just remember I was like, it's kind of catching on. Like I heard a Nirvana song that I liked, and I liked I remember liking Seether and Shine Down a lot growing up because Dad would play him and he'd play like Pearl Jam and stuff. But so I liked the music, but I just wasn't like into it yet. And then 13 going on 14, I kind of wanted to learn some guitar a little bit and then press some girls. That's just straight up the reason I like learned guitar was to like impress chicks.
Serenation.
And then
And then he discovered Drop D.
yeah, and then I don't know, I just figured it. And I asked him to teach me this like love song or Broken by Seether. I'm like, Dad, teach me this song so I can like impress a girl. And he was like, then he just takes it and he starts showing me power chords, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just start here. And then he didn't even show me any major chords. He just went straight. He's like, here's the F, here's the G. It just goes up and down the line. Is like, here's all the chords. And then figured that out. And I just started. Then I was kind of taking a liking to Nirvana and started learning all their stuff. And then it just like right from there, I just kind of had a naturality.
Then you just kept jumping from the next band to
yeah,
the next band. to
I
the
had a
next
natural
band.
act for it. I picked it up super fast, and
Yeah.
I never would have thought it would have happened. I thought I had no musical talent whatsoever, and then it just kind of happened. And then, obviously just kept growing in the bands, getting into Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses. And then once I found Zeppelin, once I found Guns N' Roses, then I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to play guitar like Slash, and then I found Jimmy Page, and I'm like, yeah, I want to rip like these guys do, and it just all started from there, and then I haven't looked back since. It's all music and art, and I could care less about sports nowadays.
Sure. No, I
So.
totally get it. Yeah. It is always interesting how people get into music, I think,
Yeah.
because we all have our own individual stories of when we all discovered, like, wait a minute, that's different. What is
Yeah.
that?
Yes,
Holy
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like then and it's with anything. And I think a lot of today's youth, as you all are, have more often than not, the more common denominator of band that is the gateway the gateway drug into music is Nirvana, it seems like.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
it's wicked.
Yeah,
And
it's weird. They just
Well, it was for me. It was the Doors.
right.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah,
no, you're totally
we
right.
love
though.
and mine was Black Sabbath. So yeah, I
yeah.
totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
we're
I
older.
think it's weird.
You're talking about these guys.
I feel like when
Yeah.
I feel like when I started playing guitar, maybe I was just too young to notice before, but I do feel like there was a shift in like, YouTube just started pumping out like all these like, okay, so you could like learn guitar on YouTube. That's what I learned guitar from. I never took lessons. I just learned what dad taught me and my uncles and my grandpa. But just watched a lot of YouTube videos because all these guitar people are on there like covering solos. And I would just watch a lot of live performances of bands. But I think there was like a shift at that point when I started playing guitar.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of kids were getting back into that stuff. Like rock and roll was becoming
It's like a cultural thing.
I think rock and roll is becoming a cool thing because I guess all the kids my age and me included, like our dads just started showing us all these bands. Like we had grown up on all this pop and rap coming out that was popular. It's all Drake and Taylor
Oh
Swift.
yeah, in the early to and Brad, you could probably attest to this. From about 99 to about 09, that's pretty much all music was synth pop and like
Mhm.
Britney
rap.
Spears. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the ultra Disney inspired boy
Yeah.
band
Yeah.
era
Oh,
Yeah, man.
was in that time frame. But it also had, on the rock and metal world, you also had bands that come out in that time like Kings of Leon and
Yeah.
That is true.
Right.
and
System
the
of a
Black
Down.
Keys and Franz Ferdinand.
Oh yeah, all the
Well,
alternative.
System was in the 90s.
They
Yeah.
actually are a little older than
Yeah.
they
weren't
they
there.
kind
They
of
were in
blew
the
up with
they were in the early to mid 90s as a band.
Really?
I remember
Yeah.
seeing them before they were even before Toxicity and
Yeah,
shit
see,
happened.
Toxicity's
Damn.
not their first record.
That
They had a
record
record
was
before
revolting.
that in
Yeah, I
like
love that record.
97 or something.
But I know what you're saying,
96.
Mark. Yeah, all the
But-
alternative.
But yeah, a lot of that
Ferdinand.
White Stripes were
Strokes,
coming out.
yeah.
And a lot of them guys.
Yeah.
I guess they just carried on through the 2000s.
They did for sure.
And like
Sure.
Shine Down and Seether, they just carried on,
No,
which is a good thing.
when I started playing guitar, I just felt like there was a lot of guys. I think YouTube was popping off. All of a sudden, YouTubing became a thing. So I think, and then you just had all these old dudes
Yeah.
on
We
YouTube.
did have to just play that guitar or pay for lessons.
Yeah, like
the YouTube wasn't
my dad
there.
always.
Yeah, you guys had it harder.
Yeah, I feel, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are hard.
I remember
guys-
going to take lessons from a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now they're just free on YouTube. It's crazy,
Yeah.
Sure.
Obviously, you still got to
or
put
you
in
have
the time, but
I get the musician ads.
yeah.
All the time. All the
Hey,
time.
It's
all the
like-
time. Look, I gave up when I found out Ultimate Guitar tabs weren't accurate. So I gave up. I said, I'm going to be a drummer because I can't
Yeah.
play.
Come on now. It's
So
like
Mr. Ghost.
I get the thing in mind where it's always the next ad. It says, "Hey, you want to jam like you're in Metallica? Well,
Yeah,
what?
dude.
The best way to do it is to play with us.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that ad so many times, you know, it's
Yeah.
like,
My-
oh my
my-
gosh, just like James, no,
Stop.
I don't want to play
My
like you
big-
anymore.
No.
I
my
want to
big-
play like me.
Yeah, exactly. I had to come to that realization because my big thing was, hey everybody, what's up, guys? It's Marty Schwartz here. Like that's where I learned how to play is freaking Marty Schwartz and
From
like
day one.
Carl Brown on YouTube and stuff. Like they're doing all these lessons.
That's really how we learned how to play
But
guitar,
eventually,
right
I
there.
I
Yeah.
had to go. Dad helped me out with the originality.
I always encourage them.
I finally was like, yeah, I'm
I
gonna.
said, you want to be like them guys that you like so much, then you got to write your own music.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree
So-
with that 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's money in cover bands,
There is.
but is there satisfaction in it?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
exactly. And everybody loves a good cover, man. Like I don't down covers. There's some of the greatest songs ever are covers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like you gotta like there's gotta be that originality.
You don't want to make your entire life
off of somebody else's.
You-
I
you-
just-
Yeah,
you
they
don't-
don't have identity.
like you can do things like that for sure. You just you just don't want it to that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's your peak.
That's why I don't understand tribute bands.
Yeah, I don't
I
get
hate 'em.
it. I don't.
I
hate 'em.
can't.
Get lost.
I think any yeah. I think that's a pretty unanimous thing against original musicians is we all hate tribute bands.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Even
I-
even the people who are in tribute bands and original bands still hate doing they do the tribute band for the money.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
for
It's
real.
that's where and it's crazy that that's where the money is. I do, and I don't blame people for being in it. Like some people don't want to be an original musician. They just want to play their favorite songs and have fun, and I get it. But and I don't blame them for going where the money goes because it is kind of sad though nowadays. It's like how can tribute bands make more money than an original band? And I feel like that's a problem with the audience. Like you're
Yeah.
going back to the point you made about like old bands kind of coming to their end and we need to start bringing the new guys up. And it's like, yeah, like
Pass the torch on.
people need to like get off of like, and don't get me wrong, I love Van Halen, I love Led Zeppelin, I love these guys and influenced me to do what we do, but it's like they were who they were and people gave them a chance, and it's like they would have never been who they were if people hadn't supported them and who they are. And
They're pieces of
and now
everybody they love.
you got more people going to a tribute Van Halen show than going to see like an original band, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense.
You got more people going to a tribute show for Van Halen than you actually have going to see Wolfgang Van Halen.
Exactly.
That's sad.
That's sad.
Because Wolfgang
Because
is
Wolfgang's
so
awesome,
good.
dude. He's like,
Man.
and I'm no disrespect to Eddie, rest in peace, but he's just as talented as his
He
dad
is.
ever
And
was.
it's
dude.
insanely
He's so good.
You know, and
Like-
and that's the thing too. We're also like, take for example, they just recently played in Louisville, Bastardane and Otto.
And Otto, yeah.
Yeah,
At
they just
Zanzibar.
at
something.
Zanzibar they just recently played. And the thing about it is those are both the sons of James Hetfield and Rob Trujillo's bands.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And and obviously both of them had opened for Metallica on the recent tour, but because hey, why not? Because it's
Well,
dad's band, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But like, they're playing places like Z-Bar and any like 300 cap venue that you're out there, maybe even 100 cap venues, who knows,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as places like, I know when they played on the Metallica show, they played at the Gramercy up in New York, and
yeah.
it's like, well, shit, it's like 3,000 seats or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's cool. So sounds like dad was pretty awesome growing up. Show you stuff like Evil Dead and things like
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yeah, dude.
I was young, and my dad, introduced me to Full Metal Jacket
Oh,
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
young age,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It's probably why I'm weird now and have a metal
I
show.
don't know.
It's killer.
My grandpa, his dad, and the Stephen King movies too. Man, he'd just sit and watch them like all the
We're
time.
geeks on all the John Carpenter movies.
Like he'd
That's
watch all that
Oh.
stuff, the horror franchises.
Yeah, my
man.
dad.
Like
gave me
I'm a
lot of
huge,
that,
hey,
too.
I'm a John
Yeah.
Carpenter fan, and
Yes.
I am in a minority here that I actually like the movie Vampires.
I do
Yeah,
too.
me too.
We like that's
A
great.
lot of people don't like it. It is a not liked Carpenter film apparently.
What?
I mean,
I like the
I like
Baldwin in there, the Baldwin brother.
Yeah,
With
Daniel.
Daniel
Yeah.
Baldwin. Yeah.
I
That's a
love
good
how
one.
he gets. Spoiler alert! It only came out in like 1997. I love when he gets bit and he
Yeah.
like fires off the Uzi or whatever,
Yeah.
and he like sticks it to his neck to cauterize the
Hell yeah.
bite,
It's
and it's-
awesome.
or to his arm or whatever, wherever she
Yeah.
hit him at. Yeah.
That's so
And
cool.
it's
dude.
just like so savage. It's like the
It's
heat from
great.
the barrel's going to cauterize the wound.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah, that's-
what's amazing about stuff like that is like that's one of the reasons that like we're like me and Garrett and Braden like are best friends.
Yeah.
And then like why my dad took
We
a
all
liking
love
to it.
Yeah.
Big
Just all-
Trouble in Little China.
Like
and
Brad-
Oh,
Ladyland.
yes.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah, Big
good.
Trouble in Little China. We're all into the same shit.
Same
Garrett's
stuff.
into the
They
same
live.
They live.
Yeah.
I love it.
My dad
Yeah.
showed me all the same.
Greg did
sort
such a
of
good
stuff.
job showing him all the same stuff. Like he comes over and he's like, "Yeah, I like Shokazuki," and we're like, "Dude, you know who
Yeah.
Shokazuki
The
is?"
Chuck Norris movies and
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, dude, we're like,
And then
"No
all this-
way."
All this off cuff other stuff that
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in the horror realm, like Reanimator.
Dude,
and
you bring up Steven Seagal films, man.
Yeah,
You
Seagal.
talk
Dude,
about
he's the
somebody
best.
who really took a fucking U-turn in life.
We talk about that.
for all the
too.
bad stuff.
Yeah, dude.
It's so
It's so funny because we just talk about this stuff all
It-
the time.
it's
about
funny.
love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
the question was in this was there ever a movie that you weren't allowed to see, but friends of yours were allowed to see it? Was there anything like that?
I think I was the kid that was allowed to watch the stuff and my friends
Yeah.
weren't. Like I tried I remember like being young. I was little and I
Yeah.
tried to show my buddy Bryce The Exorcist and he was like, "What? It ain't doing nothing for me, dude. I can't like," and stuff like that. Like I was always, my dad likes all the like the B movie kind of horror. And I grew up watching that, namely, and then all these low budget action films from the 80s and martial arts films and stuff. And my mom would always cover my eyes. My dad would be like, "No, you can watch."
That's the
good.
same thing.
So,
Like,
my
what
friends
movie-
didn't know anything
my
about that
grandpa
stuff.
was the worst. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandpa would let us watch anything, dude. And,
Oh,
like
yeah.
my grandma and my mom were like, "Oh my, you can't be showing them that." But he's just like, whatever.
One of my
So-
favorite movies of all time that I feel is totally underrated is Tango and Cash.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Good
god!
movie.
That's great.
Dude, I love that movie. That's one of my
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. Especially when they're hanging fucking
Yeah.
Brian Jones off the fucking building and he's just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
trash talking them.
favorite.
It's
Oh,
like, go ahead, drop me.
Drop-
You guys aren't worth a toss.
Yeah.
It's
That
like-
shit is great.
It's like Jesus, and then they put the grenade scene.
yeah, that's it's,
Yeah.
it's so
I
awesome.
love that film.
I didn't have a piano.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He
Oh
goes,
my
"You had a chair
gosh.
on this guy's neck?
Yeah.
I couldn't find a
You find
piano."
a piano.
I can't think of a movie off the top of my head that I like specifically that I remember seeing that I wasn't allowed to. I remember my cousin who would always try to show me the stuff I wasn't supposed to be watching.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Grand Theft Auto was a game when I was a kid that I was not allowed to play.
That's
And-
true. Yeah, same
And my
here.
grandpa and my cousin would let me play. I would go
Yeah.
over to my cousin's house and his parents let him play it, and I'd be like, "Dude, I'm not allowed to play this," but he's like, "Who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Who cares, dude?" And I'd just be like
Um,
running around GTA San Andreas, like shooting gang members and stuff. It's just it's strippers.
The first thing that I ever really noticed like that was I had a really close friend in like elementary school, like best friend, and his parents were extremely religious, so they would get edited copies of movies.
Oh,
Oof.
Like, and I remember watching the edited copy of Beetlejuice with him.
Whoa.
That's not even that bad of
That's
a movie.
That's
Well, it's the ad-libbed scene where he jumps up and kicks the tree over and yells,
Mm.
"Nice fucking model."
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the film, and I was just like,
What?
it
the-
wasn't there. And he's like, what are you
That
talking
is
about?
nutty.
Yeah.
And
You
he's like, what are
can't
you
do
talking
that.
about? And I did the thing, and like after that, I don't think I was allowed to stay over at his house anymore. Because
Damn,
I told him about the scene. And it's like, he grabs his dick and says, "Nice fucking model, honk honk."
Yeah.
My girl,
That's awesome.
my
I
girl
hate
loves
edits.
that movie. We just went and saw the second one. It's so good, dude.
I know. I need to see that.
I know I haven't
haven't
seen
seen
the
it
new
yet.
one yet.
When my daughter was 2 and 3, her favorite movie was Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
my grandpa in Jaws. That's why it's like top 5 movie of all time for me. We just watch Jaws 1 all the time.
Yeah.
I
Jaws.
love it.
Nice.
My
So
wife
Which is
would yell at me.
actually
Yeah.
which is actually kind of a pretty horrifying movie.
It's pretty
Just a
sinister.
little, yeah.
a little
If
bit.
you're
Yeah,
lit,
it is pretty, you know, I get it.
Yeah, like
if
when
you're little,
when you're
like,
younger, it like scares the shit out of you. Like you're like, I
Well-
don't want to go in the water anymore.
yeah,
I like that film because I am like a film nerd.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
I love like the pull in shot on Brody as they're coming in
dude.
on Brody's
Oh,
face.
Yeah.
And the background is just zooming out and you're
Yes.
zooming in on him and it just looks so amazing.
Yeah.
So that's where I like and just like the film stock that was used, it
The
looks like a
characters.
yeah, oh absolutely.
Oh,
It looked to me, it honestly looks like it could be like somebody's vacation film.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's also crazy that film, particularly Jaws Part 1. If you watch it nowadays, it's so crazy how clear it looks. It's so
Sure.
weird. It
Well,
just-
that's because it's remastered.
Oh yeah,
True,
yeah.
true.
Yeah, you
It-
get like an original DVD print of that.
Yeah.
It looks like fucking like a VHS transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny
Oh.
because it's from the 70s
But,
and it's crazy.
like T2 and Jurassic Park.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so ahead of their time. Like
Yeah,
Oh
all,
yeah.
you didn't see
all Steven Spielberg's are,
films
yeah.
like it's just wow.
It's just
you can
nuts.
watch Terminator 2 now and it's like whoa.
It's like it was just made.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
move.
it still holds up.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's because of the technology that I mean, you look at Cameron's film right before that, Abyss, and how they did like the cephalopod or the whatever the water was and everything, and then they did the whatever the alien thing or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's that, and it's just like, wow, even that still looks good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
dude.
Very well done.
Well, that's because movies nowadays are so like generic, and it's just
Oh,
back
sure.
back in the day they actually focused on characters and directing. Now, and don't get me wrong, I love superhero movies too, and I love action movies, but a lot of movies now are just about big explosion
But
scenes.
they shouldn't just redo some movies shouldn't be redone. Like
Yeah.
don't redo Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Or The
Don't,
Crow.
don't
Yeah, or
Yeah,
the
the crowd.
yeah,
Just about to say, how could
don't
beat the
touch
crow?
Roadhouse. Don't touch the crow.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
I
of them.
mean, I have Alice's eyes on my arm, but not the crow's.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
yes.
but no, totally. And I think that with the films and everything today, like what you were saying, Tristan, was I think the MCU, and since Disney had purchased both Lucasfilm and Marvel,
yeah.
and the amount of content that has been put out by both in the last decade
Yeah.
of purchase have been just there almost becomes there's too much going on.
Yeah,
It's like when
totally.
you seriously, like when you take the MCU films, for example, what are there, like 20, 25 of them now?
Yeah.
Man, there's tons. I lost
I
count.
think there's even like, yeah, you're right. Like
At
almost
least.
Almost.
Like,
There's like 30 of them, I think.
and they started out
and
pretty
now they're
good,
starting a new
actually.
phase and another new
Yeah, I
phase
know.
and
Yeah.
another new
Yeah.
phase. But we've been on that one for a minute. Let's go ahead, and this
Yeah.
is the time for last meals. You get
Ooh.
to pick what would be your last meal.
Dino nuggets.
Wow. Just straight up,
Oh,
like,
No, I don't. Just
have you
end-
ever been to the guy that's taken the frozen dino nugget and ate it?
I've done that before.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
It says pre-cooked on the bag.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's
dude.
already
Yeah, you're good.
They got more steps they didn't tell me about, bro.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a
It's
tough
just like,
one.
dude, I'll eat
Ooh.
ravioli out of the can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All day, a cold soup every day for
No
lunch.
shit.
Dude, I
Yeah.
eat corned beef hash right out of the can.
Oh no, I can't do corned beef hash.
That
That's
stuff's
dog
great.
food to me.
Yeah, that is. If it's better if you cook it.
No.
That is a great question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, my last meal, dude, probably just a good old breakfast, man, with like some French toast and some scrambled eggs, dude. and,
Breakfast
like
is killer.
bacon and sausage, like
The blood of all
That's-
my enemies.
That sounds good.
That's tough though. I love
Yeah.
I love food, dude. I just like
I might have to. Oh man, this is tough.
my girl's a good cook, so I get blessed with a lot of good meals.
Yeah. I don't know.
A whole pizza.
Spaghetti, Chinese.
God, you can't go wrong with a McDouble
Tacos.
cheeseburger, bro.
Yeah, McDonald's, like McDonald's, if that was my
Smack
last
a
meal,
fucking
I'd be tough.
double.
God, I love double cheeseburgers.
You know, honestly,
Oh,
I love sandwiches. I love subs. I'd have to go with like Jimmy John's or something. Or,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Italian nightclub.
Oh
Dude,
man,
yeah.
that's
Oh.
good. That's great.
Almost every
It's got
time.
like
That's really
12,000 grams of sodium in it.
Love it.
good. Crunch,
Yeah,
crunch
worth
and pickles
everyone.
with it and shit.
I love like hoagies and stuff.
It's worth every one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dudes.
Yeah,
This has
can of
been
green
awesome.
beans. Can of green beans. That is my
Great beans are great.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I know a guy who he used to be a bodybuilder and he got shredded. And that was his go-to lunch was a can of green beans and tuna fish.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I'll shred you up.
Yeah.
And that was his like protein-based lunch and shit. And dude, he was shredded. And fuck yeah.
If you want to suffer, but
yeah.
the hell with that. I like them Big
Hey
Macs.
man, he's
Oh,
doing he's
big
doing the prison way. You know,
Yeah.
he's going old school.
Oh, I love
No
it.
shit. No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So as always, links are listed below. So please give a like, a share, and a follow. Go see these guys when they're playing at the big goddamn metal show this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And you know, whenever they announce any other shows, go purchase new music from them. Go buy merch. Do all the things and all the stuff. Dudes, do y'all have any shout outs you want to give to anybody today?
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Monster.
And all the other bands that are going to be at the show.
Yeah, I want to shout out. I'm so happy to not be playing with a bunch of tribute bands.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
for
If
real.
I ever put a tribute band on a show, I'll quit.
Well,
Yeah, dude.
well, we love you for it.
So shout out to you
So
and all the other
excited.
bands that are going to be at this festy. We're super excited to return to the stage. Shout out to everybody that's been listening to our song and,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
and just keeping up
All the
with
people
us.
that are liking and
Just
following.
giving us love, man.
Yeah.
We
Appreciate
love you
it.
guys. Like, we
Yeah.
appreciate it so much. This is our dream, and
Mad respect to everybody who's going to be at goddamn metal show.
the support has been
And,
amazing. And then,
um,
shout out to just everybody who's helped us get here
Um,
and to this point, you know, with the music and like our producer Jordan Westfall and
It's been a long time
Mark
coming.
Owens, our good old engineer, and
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
just everybody, our family and friends.
We've-
Love you. We love you guys.
We've been working
So,
real hard for a
yeah,
long
Sam,
time.
who's
Our,
doing-
our guy who does our artwork.
Sam Mails doing the artwork, man. Shout out to
Both
Skybones who did the video. So just everybody who's been helping us get here.
And shout out to our merchandise that we're going to show at the show.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We got mugs. We got
Koozies.
we got can coolers and we got pins
We got
Fuck
pins,
yeah.
dude.
and
Yeah.
tees and hoodies.
Dude, I am a hound for merch, no matter like that's off the beaten path
Yeah.
merch.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I bought a tote bag for the first
Hell-
time, and
oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Nice.
you know what? I'm gonna fucking stitch patches to it because
Oh,
I also
yeah.
buy patches too.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like now I've got a battle bag.
We gotta get
Battle
Yeah.
bag.
we gotta get some
Ah,
patches made.
that's
We got
right.
some pins for you though.
That's the coolest what you did, the originality when you can take something and put pins and patches on it. That's the best.
So you can be metal at the
Absolutely,
grocery
Yeah.
store.
I love it. You know, the customization on the door over here in the other
Yeah.
side of the room, it's all stickered to hell with bands and little goofy
yeah.
stickers like the Rat Fink and
Yeah.
and
All
Homer
guitars.
and
Yeah.
and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah.
So I have one final question for today,
Yeah.
and Garrett knows because he and I have spoke before. We get philosophical around here from time to time.
We
Do you think that there are other universes?
Man, you're always hitting
Like
us
as
with
in
them
like the
big
parallel kind?
Wow.
Uh,
In one sense,
don't-
yes. In one sense, no. It's weird.
I don't know.
I'm not big on
I
it.
just don't know.
I'm big on I'm big on there is a spiritual world. I believe in God and I just believe like
Who knows what's out there?
yeah.
Who knows?
I mean,
That's where I
I'm
stand.
big
I
on
think
the
there's a
spirit.
megalodon in the ocean.
I believe in
You would never know because it's all undiscovered.
We've never even been to the bottom of our ocean, so
We've only discovered
how
like
are we to know what's
Yeah.
out
3%.
beyond?
Which is interesting because yeah, we've only discovered, you know, 3% of the ocean or whatever, and yet now we have billionaires going into space.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You
weird.
know,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
for some recent events, you know, back in September.
Absolutely. I just feel that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I just feel like I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a Titanoboa 80 feet snake found in the ocean, man, because I just
Yeah, dude, there's
some
creepy crawlies down there.
godlike Greek creatures of mythology just in the depths. The Kraken is just in there, the Hydra and all. Who knows?
Well, and I mean, yeah, because we don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, I mean, continental drift was a thing, and we don't know what's under there.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. That's where I've
Hell
come to
yeah.
the point. I don't know much. I just,
A lot of undiscovered territory.
Well,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
just know what I know.
Hell yeah.
I know there's a lot of
Dudes.
stars up there in the sky.
Yes. And you know, and do they all have their own systems, you know? Do they only have
Right.
their own system of planets, each star out there? Who knows? Maybe so.
They sure are pretty though.
Yeah. It's
Very
cool
much
to-
so.
They
nice
are,
to look
they
at.
are beautiful.
Dudes, thank you all so much for coming to the Metal Forge this week. This has been killer. I'm looking forward to being able to taking off today and seeing all these awesome fucking bands this weekend. On our way out, we're debuting a new song today, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
we are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
and
you
a
know
new
I
music
love
video.
doing that. I love doing that. So please tell everybody what we're going to be listening to, and hopefully you're going to be playing it at the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
One of our personal favorites, actually.
The song's called Eyes Wide Open.
And
Hell
we
yeah,
put-
with
we put
eyes.
Yeah. We put it
Well-
right in the middle of the set list to get right in the center there.
Right in the field.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Come see these dudes, guys. Thank you so fucking much. Metal every day. You know,
thank
click
you,
the
Mark.
links, check these dudes out. Love you guys. Metal every day.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Metal.
Mark.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark.
Eyes wide
Appreciate
ya.
open.
Love you.
Yeah.
Eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I-
Mark. Can't wait to see Ice Howl.
sleep, they tell themselves the storm is very strong. No umbrella of confidence to shelter fear on the unknown. The unknown. Plant your seed and watch it grow. Help it along the way. Never mind decisions made. Forgive them for their mistakes. Forgive them. Night, a waiting light. Night, wait for me to die. Death hill, if you find hell, find a cornerstone. Immortality, they say, but I'm still counting down the days, following the chain of envious faces. Cursed, we are all the same, a silhouette of unspoken shame. Our flowers wither away in dark places. Night, a waiting light. Night, wait for me to die. Death hill, if you find hell, find your cornerstone. Your cornerstone. Eyes wide open. Eyes on the other side. Eyes wide open. Eyes on the other side. On the other side. The other side. Yeah, the other side. Wait for me to die. Other side. The other
For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttatooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon?
then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.